Senegal, Western Africa. A country with a strong belief in teranga, a Senegalese word for hospitality. But behind their kindness is destitution. Due to many years of corrupt governance, its people have not benefited from living in a country that's rich with natural resources. Only half the population can read. Nearly 50% of its people live in extreme poverty, and life expectancy stands at 59 years. It's an unlikely place to find 3 of the NFL's elite wide receivers.
I don't think we should allow the platform that we have now to go to waste. I think, God put us in this position for a reason. Whether we want to be or not, we are role models.
In 2011, after hearing news reports about communities devastated by drought in Ethiopia, Boldin contacted Oxfam America, an international relief organization that provides humanitarian aid throughout Africa.
For myself, I wanted to see firsthand, so they offered me a trip to come along. And at that point, I got in contact with Fitz. I made a phone call to him, and he didn't hesitate. This year, we came to Senegal to do the exact same thing, to find out the problems that are here, how we could advocate for the people here that don't have a voice.
Me and Quan been friends for 10 years now. Me and Roddy been close for 8 years. For me to be here with them, it means something special to me because I feel like I'm going with my brothers.
I got involved with Oxfam through Larry Fitzgerald. He said I needed a life-changing thing that I needed to go through, and so I came to Africa to come get it.
The unfortunate part is we can't bring everybody over here to see and experience exactly what we see and experience. But I think bringing the camera crew raises that awareness back in the States. Doesn't really look like civilization. It's a lot more dirt. It's a lot hotter. It's definitely a different scenery.
In the village of Samakota, Oxfam developed a small farm for widowed women who can no longer support themselves. The women work in the garden to produce vegetables that are sold at the local market, as well as used to feed their families. The villagers arrange a celebration to welcome their guests. Today marks a joyous occasion for the women. Because of limited resources, their crops have gone unprotected, vulnerable to small animals rummaging for food. But through charitable donations, their greatest need will be fulfilled.
About to build a fence.
We've all had help getting to where we are today. It's in our heart to give back.
Stretch it down some more.
This is very great to have these celebrities here. This area is a tourist area, and I see the tourists coming here in this area, but never joining them to work together.
With construction on the new fence completed, the villagers take a brief moment to celebrate and then quickly return to work to water their crops.
So they gotta come. They gotta go down to the river every day and get water for the buckets. That's how they survive, that's how they eat. I think you gotta laugh and have fun with whatever you do. We started throwing water on them, and they started throwing water back, and it was like a family bond. The more you laugh, the more you love, the more you play, the better life is.
This is how we do coaches. Feeling good, man. Just us bringing the fence means a lot to them, and I think you can see by the way that they're celebrating.
See people that don't have great houses or fancy clothes or anything, but are just sincerely happy and so fulfilled with life. It puts life in perspective. Honestly, I feel kind of bad that I value things the way I do sometimes.
It's easy to write a check.
You could send a check and never see somebody and never look into their eyes, so you would never know how that person feels and how thankful they are for your contribution. But when you lay eyes on them, it's a totally different experience.
For centuries, the small remote village of Sabadola survived by cultivating crops and raising livestock on lands passed down through generations. But after the discovery of major gold deposits, the government allowed foreign mining companies to strip the land from the villagers with little to no compensation. Where farms once stood, large-scale mining operations now scour the landscape. To survive, the villagers are forced to scavenge for small amounts of gold. Every day, the women of the village make numerous trips to a local quarry, walking several miles each way, carrying buckets full of rocks back to their village to pound them into dust, mix with water, and then pan for gold. Extracting around $2 of gold each day, barely enough money to survive. Because these people have so little, even a small handout of water and friendship bracelets sparks a fight amongst the children of the village.
I mean, I've always said it that we are privileged. I mean, I'm fortunate, I'm blessed, I'm glad to be born and raised where I was. You know, we definitely are privileged people.
On the way to another small mining camp, a stop at an intersection reveals the magnitude of the foreign mining operation that has taken over the area. On the outskirts of the village, conditions are much bleaker. Men chip away at the clay, tunneling deep underground in dangerous conditions without even so much as a hard heart.
It's tough. Just the process that they have to go through just to find a little bit of gold. You know, it's unbearable.
I mean, it's appalling. I mean, to think that somebody to come in, corner, and just take their land is not right. And you know, I feel sorry for them, and you feel kind of helpless.
Goree Island. This outpost was set up as a staging area during the height of the Atlantic slave trade. Millions of men and women detained against their will were shipped off to colonies across the Atlantic as slaves. A visit to the island is considered a pilgrimage by those trying to reconnect with their African roots.
Right now we're on the ferry overhead at the Goree Island. I'm just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel right now.
So this is where they used to stop before they went?
This was the last stop before they went to like different places in the world.
It's crazy.
In front of you, you have the cell, the typical cells for men. And in each cell, they used to put about 15 to 20 slaves in each one. They were almost naked. Oh, okay, they had chains around their neck and their arm. And they used to be free once a day to go to the bathroom outside. Once a day.
Once a day?
Yes, once a day. This is a children's cell. 15 to 20 kids inside at the same time. The slave masters had the right to sleep with the young girls. It was the right for them. Okay, this is what we call here the door of no return. Because once the slave got out from this door, they took them to Americas and they never come back. During every shipment, some of them tried to escape by jumping into water, but they never could go far because either they were killed by the security guards or they were eaten by the sharks. Slavery lasted in Goree Island from 1536 to 1848. Okay, 1536 to 1848.
300 years.
More than 300 years.
So here we are on Goree Island, and this is the door that they call the point of no return. So when slaves were brought through this door, they were never to see their homes again, and they were off to the Americas. When you hear the numbers and you actually see this door, See how many lives were changed, how many families were broken coming through this. It's unbelievable. We go over to Goree Island and we see millions of people shipped across the sea against their will. And what it made me think about is, if you see something being done wrong, seeing something that people need help, seeing people in trouble, you speak up. You make a difference while you have the opportunity.
One man can't do it alone, but just like one man can't do it alone, the three of us can. For change to happen around the world, we all have to come together and make that change happen.
Three and a half months after returning from Africa, Boldin made a move to initiate change. On a trip to Capitol Hill, he lobbied lawmakers to strengthen human rights protections for communities in Africa.
Hey,
How you doing?
Susan Adams.
Anquan.
Nice to meet you.
For us, we made promises saying that we would, come back to America and use our voice as much as possible.
49ers wide receiver Anquan Boldin recently traveled to Senegal. Thank you very much for being with us.
I don't think that it's right that you can go in and take someone's land and not compensate them for it. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Anquan.
Nice to see you. And nothing gets the attention of people like yourself, bringing your celebrity and hopefully the media to say what is going on there.
How you doing?
Good to see you, Marco.
Anquan.
Good to see you guys. Sit down. What's the economy there? Like, what do people live off of?
Agriculture, mining.
Agriculture. But once they strip the land,
They can't use it anymore. Yeah.
And your visit to Senegal has a huge impact in that region. They also have an impact here in the United States.
Mr. Chairman, it's an honor to be here today. During my visits to Africa, I promised the people I met that I would do everything I can to bring their stories back to the U.S., to the leaders who can make improvements. I believe you have the power to really help people in Africa, and specifically Senegal. Dear Mr. President, I know that as a leader of our nation and as an avid sports fan, you care deeply about fair play. Therefore, I am asking you to do everything you can to make sure communities are treated fairly and that rules protecting their basic rights are respected. Sincerely, Anquan Boldin.